Hello, leaders, and welcome to episode number 699. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that helps you leverage conflict to master your leadership skills and live your best life. Hey, we have covered a lot of info this past week on self-integrity and how being in or out of alignment with your self-integrity can have an impact on trust, your thinking ability, your subconscious thoughts and direct actions, and even how it can reveal your secret compass to success. Today, I want to wrap up the week by discussing if self-integrity can prevent you from performing unethical tasks either at work or at home. So let's jump right back into the conversation my wife Jen and I had this past week to get some insight. So, how about if you're in a situation at work and your boss or a coworker or the organization in general kind of is asking you to do something that is unethical or something that you may think is unethical or just not right? Does that take you out of alignment with your self-integrity, or can you remain in alignment and still do that task that you don't think is right?
Well, the short of it is no, you cannot do that task because that takes you out of alignment with your self-integrity. Now, stress plays a big role in whether we actually go through with doing the task or we don't. If you feel like your self-integrity is in question and you feel stressed because you've been asked to do something that doesn't line up with your values and your beliefs, you're going to start looking at all the things that doing that task will impact and all the things that not doing that task will impact. And it could be that if you don't do the task and stay in alignment with your integrity, you're going to lose your job. And that could lose your livelihood. That could lose your home, your car. It could lose the things that you feel like are necessary for you to provide for your family. That may influence whether you stay in self-integrity or not. Because if that stress limits your thinking ability and puts you to the point that you feel you have no other options, you may fall out of alignment with your self-integrity.
And as soon as you are forced out of alignment, if you will, with your self-integrity, that's when the cortisol levels are going to go up and the stress is going to kick in and your thinking ability decreases, correct?
Yes.
So, what do you think? Does this make sense? Can you think of an example in your life, whether it's at work or at home, where you've been asked to do or thought about doing something that you thought was unethical? And if so, did you begin processing all the pros and cons of completing or not completing that thing? Did you start thinking through all the things that decision may impact? You know, one thing that comes to mind for me is what my mentor, John C. Maxwell, says about ethics. A while back, his book publisher asked him to write a book on business ethics. And John quickly told the publisher that he couldn't do that. John said he couldn't write a book on business ethics because there was no such thing as business ethics. John told the publisher that you either have ethics or you don't. And it doesn't matter if you're at work or at home. Your ethics remain the same. Man, I love that analogy because if you think about it, ethics is simply doing what we know is right. And we know the difference between right and wrong, even from a very young age. And after this conversation with Jen, I now understand that whenever we have these thoughts going through our minds, it's possibly an unethical task that we're being asked to do or thinking about doing, whether it's at work or at home. I challenge you today to stop and really think about your situations whenever you have those thoughts running through your mind and about what the consequences will be if you do that task or if you don't do that task. If you are really struggling with performing a task, well, that task may possibly be putting you out of alignment with your self-integrity. Hey, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And if you enjoy this show, I'd greatly appreciate it if you let me know you're listening by leaving me a review or just dropping me a quick email at paul@clcteam.com. Be safe and lead by the right example. Until Monday, run to your challenges.